Hello everyone, I'm David Law, Superintendent of Minnetonka Public Schools.
And I'm Mark Ambrosen, Minnetonka School Board Director.
We're glad you're able to join us for our School Board Recognitions program. It's so important to take the time to acknowledge and celebrate outstanding accomplishments of our students, staff, and community members.
We begin most of our regular board meetings with recognitions to highlight the positive impact that so many different people make in our district.
Today we're recognizing National Merit semifinalists from the class of 2024. ACT top score earners from the class of 2024, 2023-24 student honored teachers, National Merit commended students from the class of 2024, National College Board recognition honorees from the class of 2024, newly named AP Scholars with distinction from the 2022-23 school year, and 3 staff awards for outstanding teaching and scholarship.
We will begin with our National Merit semifinalists, ACT top score earners, and honored teachers. These groups were celebrated last week at our 2nd annual Scholars Breakfast. 28 Minnetonka High School seniors were named 2024 National Merit semifinalists in the 69th Annual National Merit Scholarship Program. The students scored among the nation's best on the PSAT, which serves as the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test. It is taken during junior year.
As semifinalists, these students are eligible for incredible scholarships to support their post-secondary education. They represent the top 1% of all PSAT test takers.
Our National Merit semifinalists from the class of 2024 include John Armstrong, Grace Babe, Alexander Bartholomew, Luke Bostard, Dasha Berzhinsky, Emily Badeau, Evelyn Engerbretson, Jason Huang, Amara Johnson,
Henry Jones, Jackson Close, Hannah Knesny, Arjav Krishna, Phoebe Lee, Devin Moss, Robert Matson, Maya Moberg, Lucas Murdick, Valerie Nelson,
Anna Sophia Pedersen, Andrew Petovis, Sonia Pillai, Maheen Ramatola, Henry Remick, Zachary Steingass, Hemant Vangala, Gautam Venkatesh, and Nolan Wayman.
Congratulations to each of you. During the Scholar Breakfast, we also recognize students from the class of 2024 who have earned a top score of 36 on the ACT.
These students include Erica Daniels, Jason Huang, Lillian Kowal, Devin Moss, Zachary Steingass, Hemant Vangala, and Gautam Venkatesh.
Congratulations, students.
During the Scholars Breakfast program, each of these students had the opportunity to recognize a Minnetonka teacher who has made a profound impact on their education.
Students shared remarks about their teacher at the event, and we are now pleased to present those remarks.
My name is John Armstrong, and I will be honoring Ms. Oaxaca. In 2nd and 3rd grade, Ms. Oaxaca helped me realize that school did not just have to be a place where I completed assignments demonstrating I knew topics that I already knew. She showed me I could learn things both inside and outside the curriculum that I never knew and always wanted to know. She created a classroom environment that allowed me to think about things I hadn't ever thought about before and was always challenging me to expand my learning beyond my comfort zone. Overall, she just created an environment where my curiosity was nurtured and encouraged, and for the rest of school, I've used that curiosity and willingness to learn to get through my academic life.
Hi, my name is Robert Matson, and I will be honoring Liz Peterson. I would like to express my deep gratitude to Liz Peterson. She was my 11th grade VANTAGE Global Business seminar teacher, and she acted as more than an educator. She was a mentor, a source of inspiration, and she made my school year at Minnetonka better. Overall, I think Ms. Peterson makes Minnetonka schools a better place.
Hello, my name is Alexander Bartholomew, and I'm here to honor Mr. Kevin Burns. Where do I start with Mr. Burns? From the open-toed shoes in class to the weekly ethics lectures we receive, Mr. Burns is the teacher that has had the greatest impact on me at Minnetonka. Beyond research, he's taught me skills like how to talk to professors, how to communicate clearly, and how to think critically about the problems that you encounter. These skills have already had an immense impact on my life, both inside and outside the classroom. I owe much of my accomplishments to the conversations that I've had with you in the fishbowl, Mr. Burns. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Luke Boster, and I'll be honoring Mr. Kuhn. So I nominated Mr. Kuhn because he celebrated my achievements and just generally made learning chemistry fun. Whenever I needed help or had a question, he always worked with me until I understood the concept that we were learning. And his class was honestly one of the most fun classes I've taken in high school. I also really appreciated his laid-back attitude towards grades and testing. Before every test that we took, he told us that one test doesn't define you, and that really helped me feel calm going into all of our tests. I really enjoyed his class, and I think that he's one of the best teachers I've had.
Hi, my name is Dasha Berzhansky, and I'll be honoring Mr. John Douglas today. IB English last year with Mr. Douglas was by far the best English class I've ever taken. His passion for literature and other arts is so palpable. It manifests as a joy and excitement that you can feel the second you step into his classroom. And this joy and excitement carries into all other aspects of his life. Mr. Douglas leads such a rich, positive existence, and he inspires me to also try to attain that same sort of rich and positive existence. I wish to be able to go on hundreds of wonderful little tangents about stories, hopefully as fun as his.
My name is Emily Bedeau, and I will be honoring Miss Hayden. In AP Literature with Miss Hayden, she always taught me to trust myself and be confident in what I'm capable of as a student. And by empowering me this way, she created an environment that wasn't focused on scores, but on being curious and having authentic conversations with others. And her teaching showed me how everything I've learned at Minnetonka helps me not only with huge exams, but with having the ability to engage in meaningful learning with others. Thank you.
My name is Erica Daniels, and I will be honoring Miss Duncan. As a STEM-minded person, I was nervous going into the IB diploma program. I had Miss Duncan for both IB history and TOK, and she made me realize just how much I love learning. From her creative quizzes, funny slide decks, and insightful discussions, I realized how much I wanted to know about the world. The humor she teaches with made even hour-long lectures exciting. With Miss Duncan, I always felt welcome, and with her collaborative class environment, I realized what it's like to have a great teacher.
My name is Evie Engebretson, and I will be honoring Dr. Say. I want to thank Dr. Say for always pushing and supporting me in class. AP Chemistry was probably one of the hardest classes I have ever taken, but with Dr. Say's help, I was able to manage the workload and learn many skills about perseverance and sticking with hard problems. Because of her teaching, AP Chem is my favorite science class ever, and it is one of the reasons why I decided to pursue chemical engineering in college. Seeing a strong female scientist is also very motivating to be around, and it has inspired me to work to be a leader in the STEM fields.
My name is Jason Huang, and I'll be honoring Mr. Kokish. Mr. Kokish was my AP Chem teacher, and out of all the teachers I've had, he has been one of the most knowledgeable and dedicated to his students' success. He was not lying when he said the skills we gained from his class would apply to almost all of my future courses. He still works with me in Science Olympiad, and he keeps me mindful of deadlines, and he supports me to put forth my best effort. I've undoubtedly become a better teacher and learner because of him. So once again, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Kokish, for being such a great teacher and mentor.
My name is Jack Close, and I will be honoring Miss Thomas. Ms. Thomas was my psych and VANTAGE teacher, and she helped me greatly in my development as a student. VANTAGE is a program that teaches student professionalism, and while I did learn this from Ms. Thomas, she also created an engaging and fun learning environment where participation was fun and helped my learning. On top of being a great teacher, she's also a deeply funny and kind person, and she was a resource that I could turn to with any question that I had, and is the model of how a teacher should model a classroom and build relationship with students. Thank you.
My name is Hannah Knesny, and I will be honoring Mr. Barr. Through VANTAGE UX design, I learned so much about both designing websites and apps and about myself. You made the class such a welcoming and engaging environment that I was excited to go to every day. I could always tell that you genuinely cared about me and wanted me to succeed. I will never forget when you named me project leader, as your confidence gave me confidence. I enjoyed your class so much that I'm planning on UX design as a college major and potentially a career. Thank you.
My name is Lily Cowell, and I will be honoring Ms. Ronk. I want to thank Ms. Ronk for being an engaging and supportive teacher in AP Biology. Her passion for teaching every class made the class super interesting and fun, and her class not only reignited my love for learning, but also inspired me to further my education in biology. She was a very supportive teacher and was always willing to help whenever I had questions or wanted to learn more. Ms. Ronk, thank you so much for your amazing teaching and your care for your students.
Hello, my name is Arjun Krishna, and the teacher I'm honoring this morning is Mr. Ludvigsen, over there. Math is not my best subject. I am much more of a history or social science kind of person. Yet despite that fact, Mr. Ludd has made math and AP Calculus last year a class that I was looking forward to every single day. Mr. Ludd helped teach us very difficult concepts such as derivatives, integrals, and push-up form, and in addition, he has made it so that math is much more of a problem and a puzzle to solve as opposed to a challenge to overcome. So thank you, Mr. Ludd, for all the teaching you've done for me. I look forward to speaking to you in the future.
Hi, my name is Phoebe, and I will be honoring Mr. Barr, who isn't here today, but I'd still like to thank him for the impact he's had on me. I had Mr. Barr for UX Design and VANTAGE, and he made learning really enjoyable, memorable, and fun. The dynamic he created in his classroom allowed me to open up quickly to my classmates and make lasting friendships that I still value today. I always found it easy to ask him questions if I needed any help, and he was also a great advisor for robotics. He was there for guidance and always cheering us on in competition. It's clear that he cares about his students, and I want to thank him for that.
My name is Devin Maz, and I will be honoring Mr. Kokish. Because he's my favorite teacher. Mr. Kokish was my AP Chemistry teacher and Science Olympiad coach. I never knew what to expect from my second hour chemistry class. He just brought so much energy and knowledge from the field. Every single day, he'd manage to make me smile or brighten my day in some way, whether it's through a story or a quip or just his love for chemistry. As a coach for Science Olympiad, he also helped push me out my comfort zone all the time, learning about all sorts of stuff that I never would have without him. And now, thanks to Mr. Kokish, I have a bittersweet relationship with clocks.
My name is Maya Moberg, and I will be honoring Ali Alawanle, who is unfortunately not here today. Joining Navigators as a program in elementary school changed my view of school. It became something exciting, and I woke up every morning excited to go to school. However, having Miss Alawanle as a teacher changed my perspective on learning. Her passion for education shone through in every lesson and spread to every one of her students, including me. The classroom environment that she created allowed every student to thrive both academically and socially. Her dedication to making every student feel included in a class community and excited to learn will impact me for the rest of my life, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Hi, I'm Lucas Smurdick, and I'd like to honor Mr. Kevin Burns. So Mr. Burns was my research teacher this last year and this year as well. And he's made the research room really a place of not just learning, but also fun. One of the things we would do last year was we would argue hypotheticals, basically the whole hour, which was really funny until he docked our professionalism points for it. But all of my friends in that class actually enjoyed it so much that we invited him to come hang out at the mall with us this summer. And while he did decline, his excuse was good enough that I almost believe it. Thank you, Mr. Burns.
Hello, my name is Valerie, and I will also be honoring Mr. Burns. I have had Mr. Burns for the past 2 years as my research teacher. When I started Minnetonka Research as a tiny little sophomore, I felt very nervous, but Mr. Burns made the classroom feel like family. From teaching me how to 3D print to saving me from creating potentially deadly X-rays, Mr. Burns has had a tremendous impact on my growth as a student. Thank you.
My name is Anna Sophia Pedersen, and I will be honoring Mr. Lauer. I chose Mr. Lauer because he created an environment that was challenging and enjoyable, which was ideal for many different aspects of student life. His encouragement of learning and teamwork made for a productive and fun class. I not only gained an expanded repertoire of research and presentation skills, I also made some of my closest friends. Mr. Lauer fostered a space that created independent students and thinkers and was always supportive and understanding. I will always be grateful for Mr. Lauer's humor and empathy.
My name is Andy Patuvis, and I will be honoring today Mr. Vaninga. So I had the great privilege of being one of Mr. Vaninga's VANTAGE Global Sustainability students last year. And they call economics the dismal science, but I always had so much fun learning about economics with him last year. Mr. Vaninga's teaching quite literally changed my worldview, and I don't say that about many things. Nowadays, I'm constantly using marginal analysis to stay motivated to do my work, and I also stay motivated by thinking about opportunity costs. And Mr. Vaninga also helped me learn how to be a stronger collaborator, which is going to be a critical skill for my future career in STEM. So thank you so much, Mr. Vaninga, for all you've done for me.
My name is Henry Remick, and I will be honoring Prof. Joel Newman. Prof. Newman's 8th grade Spanish class is one I'm not going to forget. The classroom environment was social, fun, and invested in the material. I can say I've had few other teachers who have been able to provide such an engaging learning experience. Through his class and the stories he would tell us about his travels in South America, I developed a deep interest in exploring other cultures and a fulfilling appreciation for Spanish literature. I would like to thank him for his dedication to being a teacher, and I hope he continues to make impressions on the students lucky enough to have him for Spanish.
My name is Sonia Pillay, and I will be honoring Mrs. Price. Mrs. Price is my junior year research teacher. She was a fantastic mentor to me throughout the year, giving me ideas for my project, and overall just helping me through my junior year. She's so caring, sweet, positive, understanding, and supportive. Also, I would just like to highlight Mrs. Price's insane work ethic. I'm in awe of everything she can get done in a day. I strive to have her determination and motivation. I'm so glad I got to have her as a teacher.
My name is Maheen Ramatullah, and I'm also honoring Prof. Joel Newman. I've never had a true appreciation for the Spanish immersion program here at Minnetonka until I stepped foot into Prof. Newman's 8th grade class. Sure, we learned our grammar and read our books in Spanish, but Prof. Newman taught me what it really means to love the language that I had studied and practiced since I was a kindergartner. I don't know how much he remembers me in my class, but he is one of the most inspiring and my favorite teacher that I've ever had in my time at Minnetonka. It was only because of his class that I realized that being fluent in Spanish wasn't just a useful tool in my back pocket or a party trick, but something that I wanted to use for the rest of my life, and I will always be thankful for the lifelong impact he's had on me.
The Minnetonka High School offers a wide variety of classes, but few, if any, are more difficult than AP Chemistry. Complex formulas, intense memorization, and logical deduction demand the best out of any student who takes it. Fortunately, however, I was blessed to not only be taught, but encouraged, challenged, and engaged by Dr. Amanda Say. Her passion and devotion to teaching encourages students, such as myself, to be the best that we can be. When looking back at the class, the many hours spent studying, the many late nights all fade away as I recall her passion and dedication to making students the best that they can be.
Hello everyone, my name is Hemant Vangala. I'm here to give some remarks about Mr. Barr. Mr. Barr was my AP Comp Sci Principles teacher. Beyond simply teaching me what there is to know about the fascinating field of data science, he always lightened the mood of his class with his humor and elaborate stories. I enjoyed talking with Mr. Barr about things beyond just academics, such as our March Madness brackets, the latest sports news, and how he was a diehard Packers fan. Overall, he helped me understand that there is more to the high school experience than just academics.
Teachers, thank you for the difference you make each day for our students. We are truly grateful for your dedication and impact.
Congratulations again to our students, and thank you to the families, teachers, and friends who have supported them in their efforts throughout their time in Minnetonka.
Next, we will recognize 3 more groups of students who have achieved outstanding academic honors. Class of 2024 National Merit Commended Students, Class of 2024 students receiving national recognitions from the College Board, and new AP Scholars with distinction from the 2022-2023 school year.
These awards require an incredible amount of hard work and dedication. We ask these students to share about a class at MHS that has inspired them and has had the impact on their academic journey.
Here's what they shared with us.
My name is Hudson Benitez. One AP class that changed the way I study is AP Physics, because I took it when I was a freshman and I didn't know how to study before then, but I really found what works best for me in that class.
Hello, my name is Francisco Moreno and I'm a junior at MHS. I'm incredibly grateful for receiving the National Hispanic AP Merit Award. Firstly, I'd like to thank my AP Computer Science teacher, Mr. Barr, whose engaging teaching style and fun games made the class genuinely enjoyable and something I would look forward to every single day. Next, I would also like to thank my AP Spanish Language Arts and Culture teacher, Mr. Felty, who had a big impact on me. His class helped me really gain an appreciation for the culture, broaden my perspective, and connect to my own Hispanic roots. Thank you.
My name is Daniel Gonzalez, and I am a junior in the class of 2025. This year, VANTAGE Health Sciences has significantly impacted my education. It solidified my choice with regards to what I would like to major in, which is something within the health science field. And AP Psychology is a class I've enjoyed greatly so far, but all of VANTAGE is great. The professional connection opportunities embedded with the AP courses is a great combination of rigor and homework to prepare me for what's ahead in life, such as college.
Hello, my name is Trey Maroney, and I'm a senior. A course that has had the biggest impact on me is AP Biology. I found the content to be extremely interesting and had lots of fun taking part in the occasional labs. I want to thank my teacher, Miss Ronk, for making this class so interesting due to the engaging lessons and interesting ways that she explained the concepts. Due to this class being so interesting and Miss Ronk being such an amazing teacher, I now am heavily considering pursuing a major in biology.
Hello, my name is Simran Kaur, and I am a class of 2026 sophomore. I took AP Calc AB as an 8th grader, and Physics 1, Calc BC, Human Geography, and Computer Science A as a 9th grader. The rigorous coursework helped my development of a strong work ethic and a love for learning, and I grew as a person through this experience.
National Merit Commended students are recognized with the National Merit Scholarship Corporation for showing outstanding academic promise. They have all scored within the top 4% of PSAT test takers nationwide. This year, 28 Minnetonka High School seniors have been named National Merit Commended Scholars.
Our National Merit Commended students from the class of 2024 include Darby Allen, Aaron Burgoyne, Dylan Corey, Erica Daniels, Aaron Duong, Alexander Feller, Jasmine Goldsmith, Laura Ganucci, Oscar Hafner-Orange, Samek Harris,
Courtney Heer, Sophia Hwart, Elizabeth Kearns, Nathan Keys, Noah Kamankin, Kira Clem, Lillian Kowal, Elizabeth McCallum, Rachel Patefield, Ainsley Phillips,
Deepti Pillai, Grace Prowl, Isabella Tobin, John Turcott, Sean Underwood, Amanda Webster, Ming-Wei Yo, and William Zhang. The College Board National Recognition Program also honors outstanding academic promise based on PSAT scores from students in underrepresented groups.
Minnetonka students have earned the National African American Recognition Award, National Hispanic Recognition Award, and National Indigenous Award.
These awards are given based on results from the junior year PSAT. Students who meet or exceed the score threshold are invited to complete an application and confirm a minimum GPA of 3.5. Many colleges sponsor scholarship awards for students who achieve these designations.
Congratulations to the Minnetonka High School seniors who have achieved the following honors.
The National African American Recognition Award: Josh Buffington, James Thomas, and Tobias Williams.
The National Hispanic Recognition Award: Carla Fernanda Arreola Lucio, Hudson Benitez, Benjamin Batilla, Daniel Gonzalez Villaseca, Lara Garnuti, Emilia Mallet Harvey, John Malvin, and Francisco Moreno.
And the National Indigenous Award, Lillian Kruger.
The AP Scholars with Distinction designation is granted by the College Board to students who receive an average score of at least 3.5 on all of their AP exams and who receive a score of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams.
The students we will recognize tonight achieved the AP Scholar with Distinction recognition for the first time based on their AP exams from the 2022-23 school year. Student honorees from the class of 2023 include Reagan Alleman, Lauren Bott, Evan Blumberg, Kate Briesmeister, Colin Colgan, Mia Copeland, Javier Diaz-Schultz, Leo Dirks, Claire Dolan, Eric DeBoule, Kate Feist,
Owen Frick, Riley Gonzalez, Mason Hagan, Elijah Hansen, Alexa Host, Aiden Gendro, Georgia Jorgensen, Emma Karbowski, Christopher Keene, Joel Landstrom, Annika Lang.
Parker Larson, Darren Ma, Lucas Martin, Ruby Martin, Evelyn McNeil, Garrett Molitor Kirsch, Isabel O'Brien, Ethan Ode, Elizabeth Otteson, Daniel Pasqua, Micah Pierce,
William Poey, Zachary Rieger, Benjamin Rosewarn, Ella Rush, Caleb Schimke, Milo Schulting, Tegan Schwantes, Leah Shedd, Quinn Shepard, Brooke Scarda.
Thomas Stevenson, Addison Stroh, Burke Sullivan, Nora Thiss, Gabrielle Tibbetts, Ketav Udupa, Ray Vaughn, Ella Wander, Grace Wander, Erica Weeks, and Owen Wilkinson.
AP Scholars with Distinction from the class of 2024 include David Atchison, Darby Allen, David Allred, Carla Fernando Arreola Lucio, Grace Babe, David Bear, Owen Barhoover, Alexander Bartholomew, Raphael Beberg, Samuel Bloom.
Avery Bowen, Samuel Bremer, Hagan Burrows, Adeline Cardenas, Charlotte Carney, Liam Cassidy, Ashaz Chaudhry, Josephine Chos, Dakota Chow, Sasha Cox,
Alexa Cummings, Braden Diethelm, Olivia Donaldson, Ashley Enns, Amelia Erickson, Noah Fu, Elizabeth Fuchs, Catherine Garner, Aaron Gailey, Jasmine Goldsmith.
Laura Granucci, Samuel Gao, Oscar Hefner Orange, Isabel Herrig, Andrew Hermanson, Sasha Jameson, Tejas Jayashankar, Alexandra Jurdy, Haley Carls, Elizabeth Kearns,
Nathan Keese, Noah Kamakin, Jackson Close, Lindsay Koch, Hannah Konezny, Lillian Kowal, Alex Kundal, Phoebe Lee, Paul Malloy, Trey Maroney.
Anna Matson, Robert Matson, Elizabeth McCallum, Noah Miesels, Bruce Mary, Henry Miller, Joseph Moseman, Lucas Murdick, Owen Murtha, Maxwell Nelson,
Melissa Nelson, Valerie Nelson, Opal Ofstadel, Robert Olson, Aiden O'Mara, Suniva Pedersen, Hunter Peterson, Andrew Petovis, Danielle Pham, and Deepti Pillai.
Josephine Post, Grace Prawley, Ali Preston, Maheen Ramatula, Rebecca Reeder, Emma Rieger, Jonathan Rice, Catherine Ryle, Thomas Robin, Sydney Rupert,
Samuel Sheeb, Anna Schwab, Tanner Smith, Kelly Sutanto, Senna Stein, Allison Stobie, Joseph Tadros, Madison Thurnblum, Isabella Tobin, John Turcott.
Riley Hewlett, Nathaniel Unger, Juliana Velgersdijk, Joel Velour, Amanda Webster, Elizabeth Wider, Tobias Williams, Clara Rolstead, Ming Wei Yo, Elijah Zibzalka. And AP Scholars with Distinction from the class of 2025 include
Justin Abraham, Naomi Ah, Hudson Benitez, Benjamin Batia, Bryce Budijono, Patrick Kavanaugh, Sarah Cleary, Daniel Crocker, John Donahue, and Ryan Doshan.
Jackson Downen, Eowyn Duan Porter, Driss Elamry, Sarah Erickson, Sadie Highland, Kate Hoekstra, Cooper Hopkins, Paisley Hoppy, Abigail Hudson, Gabriella Hudson.
Neil Kashyap, Maxwell Kong, Adeline Keenan, Amelia Clemmy, Noah Korselman, Soren Lee, Julian Lunzer, Kira Mondale, Madison Nordquist, Ayla Pak.
Jack Petrin, Anthony Pooh, Maggie Kwan, Samantha Rogers, Advika Sachidan Andan, Ethan Sandberg, Lucy Snow, Eric Soltau, William Steinges, Ellison Stroh,
Atvar Sukani, James Thomas, Tobias Thomason, Nicholas Volkov, Alexander Weimer, Ben Welsh, Owen Wari, and Jason Windells.
Congratulations to the AP Scholars with Distinction for the class of 2026. Simran Kaur, Rian Matthew, and Maximus Wren. Congratulations again to each of our AP Scholars with Distinction.
The remaining 3 awards we will recognize tonight are honors earned by 2 teachers and 1 district administrator through their statewide professional organizations.
The first is Minnesota Council on Economic Education Teacher of the Year. Joel Coleman, who teaches at Minnetonka High School and is in the VANTAGE program, has earned this honor.
Joel is one of 3 teachers to be recognized for excellence in teaching economic and personal finance principles using innovative, culturally responsive, and creative teaching principles.
He exemplifies dedication and enthusiasm to improving the economic understanding of his students, both in and out of the classroom. Congratulations, Joel.
The next statewide honor is from the Minnesota String and Orchestra Teachers Association. Sarah Finn Sommerfeld, orchestra teacher at Minnetonka High School, has been named as the association's Master Orchestra Teacher of the Year.
In her nomination letter, Sarah's colleagues shared that she has played a crucial role in building the orchestra program at the high school, which has grown from 45 students to more than 200. This is a testament to her ability to connect with all students and inspire a lifelong love for music.
Sarah has a reputation for excellence in teaching and for supporting students and colleagues through all of life's experiences. The music department would not be the same without her. Congratulations on this honor, Sarah.
Our final recognition of the evening is the one earned by Dr. Amy Ledoux, Associate Superintendent for Instruction.
The Minnesota Association of School Administrators has named Dr. Ledoux as a recipient of the 2023 Richard Green Scholar Award, an achievement which honors the scholarly work and professional development of Minnesota school leaders.
The program is an annual recognition of research that reflects excellence in school leadership practices. As part of the honor, Dr. Ledoux presented her research at the Minnesota Association of School Administrators Fall Conference in a presentation titled Leading Leaders, Helping Principals Grow.
Congratulations, Dr. Ledoux, and thank you for the many ways that you foster growth for students, teachers, and administrators within our school district.
That concludes our recognition program for this evening. Thank you again for celebrating with us.
The November school board meeting will begin shortly.
Welcome to the November 2nd, 2023 school board meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Can we all rise and say the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to adopt the agenda this evening?
So moved.
Chris, is there a second?
Second.
Megan, any additions? No? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, we have an agenda. Our first item is one of our favorites, our school report, which tonight we have Groveland, Superintendent Law.
I think you did a great job introducing every board meeting throughout the school year. We have our schools come and talk about an update from the school. Some of it aligned to school board goals and some of it aligned to just happenings at the school. Tonight we have Principal Andrew Gilbertson from Groveland Elementary. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Law. It's a pleasure of mine, and joined here tonight by our Assistant Principal, Sarah Klitsky, to talk a little bit about things that have been happening both currently and things that we've planned for this year at Groveland Elementary. We really strive at Groveland Elementary to be a school that's unified around common expectations, to be a welcoming community with strong instruction. And so this year, right now, we'll start off talking about one of our main goals this year, and of course aligned with the board goal of excellence and well-being, connection, and belonging. And we really believe at Groveland that that's not just one or two things, that's really a culture, and that starts with things that we do proactively to build that connection. So some of the things that we've done already this year, and a big credit of this is, of course, to our staff and our PTO who really work hard to create a community. Many of you know that Groveland is the longest running school in the state, and that tradition of community stretches back over 150 years and continues today. So already we've had a fall festival, had about almost 1,000 people show up for that, community members, of course, a lot of families, food trucks, a lot of fun. This year we did a new family night. That was a first to welcome any families that were new that weren't coming in through kindergarten. So open enrolled families from out of country, out of state. That was a big success. Of course, we have the readathon. So our students have read over 500,000 minutes in the month of October, which means I'm going in the dunk tank next Thursday. So I'm hoping for a spike in temperature. It doesn't look like I'm going to get it, but we'll figure something out. But a credit again to PTO for organizing that, to our students and families for embracing it. We did our Unity Day, of course. It used to be the Anti-Bullying Day, Unity Day, right before MEA break. You'll see one of the pictures here, two of our SAIL students. A big credit to Erin Valenta and her team at SAIL. They've created, as you know, a program that has students come. They not only do a great job cleaning our building and adding value there, but Levi and Carter there add a ton of life to our building and to our hallways. So always fun to see them come in. This year, one of the new things, and always trying to look to find ways to make connections, we did kindergarten snack breaks. So all the kindergartners had a snack break for me. Now I'm close to 50, so getting down on the floor like that is actually a pretty big accomplishment. But I get a chance to learn their names, learn some connections with them. You know, we have a question of the day. I actually had a first grader this year that's kind of a leader, and he helped me interview the students and come up with questions of the day, so it was a real positive experience for them. We're increasing parent voice, especially parents that maybe haven't been represented as well in the past in our building, so intentionally reaching out to parents and meeting with them once a quarter to see how we can serve those families and their students better. Of course, we have buddy classrooms. We've done that in the past. What we want to focus most on tonight, though, is some new opportunities we have for students around student leadership, in particular around building those connections and the anti-bullying efforts that we have. And for that, I'm going to introduce our new assistant principal, Sarah Klitsky, who has spearheaded a really great initiative. I think you'll love hearing about it. So, Sarah?
Good evening. Thank you for having us here tonight to talk about Groveland. But students really, let me advance that. There we go. Students leading students. So it does align with our board goals of how do we bring student leadership and student voice to really highlight and bring belonging and community to our school. And so what we decided to do, and actually this stemmed from last spring, Andrew connecting with the then fourth graders and seeing who would be interested in becoming part of our student leadership team. And so gathering interest from last spring and bringing it to this fall, we developed 48 fifth graders that have volunteered their time to meet with me during their lunch and recess to really look at how do we bring student voice into the shared leadership experience at Groveland. So I have some of our student leaders. Have 3 of them here in a video just to explain a little bit of an overview of what their experience is so far. We just started this in October, so we've had only about 3 meetings, so we're just getting this kicked off, but they already have a really great vision for what they would love to see happening in our school to make sure that we're having an inclusive, welcoming environment.
Hi, I'm Jenna.
And I'm Victoria.
And I'm Annie.
And we are part of the Groveland Elementary Student Leadership Team. This is the first year of having a student leadership team at Groveland, and we are excited to be on this team because we want everyone to feel safe and cared for.
One of the first activities of our leadership team was developing a purpose. A purpose is important because we need to know what Groveland needs and how we can improve our school. The purpose of our student leadership team at Groveland is to create an environment where everyone belongs and feels valued.
To help us better understand more about the students at Groveland, each member of the leadership team interviewed at least 2 other students in the school. Students share experience that made them feel happy and safe, as well as experiences that made them feel like they weren't included or sad at school. Our next student leadership team is to work in small groups to design opportunities and activities where students are feeling like they belong and are valued at our school. Some of our ideas are cleaning up the playground, more opportunities for students to meet new friends, opportunities for all grades to be leaders, and more. Thank you for listening. We hope you learned more about how students are leaders at Groveland.
All right. So those were 3 of our 5th grade students. Gave me a little bit overview, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about what we've done in our first initial meetings and what is looking towards the future. There we go. So you heard one of the first girls say that we, as any great team, when we come together, we need to first define our why. And so we talked a lot about that with our student leaders of we need to have a clear purpose so that we know where we're going and define what that looks like. And so we did a collaborative shared purpose statement where each individual student wrote their own purpose statement. They then gathered in small groups of about 4 to 5 and found commonalities and similarities within what their purpose statements said. We put that up on the board and we crafted, with 48 students, we crafted this purpose statement. So as the girls stated, the purpose of Groveland's student leadership team is to create an environment where everyone belongs and feels valued so that eventually we all feel safe and welcome at Groveland, so as all students can become leaders and all students can be successful at school. So this is our 5th grade leadership team, but we want to impact every single student that is coming through our doors here at Groveland. So from the why, you can see, we also need to define the what. And so we, in November, will be taking our developmental relationship survey for our students and also our staff, but that will be really helping us define and measure of where do we want to go and how do we want to measure our impact. And so after we get those results from that survey, that will be some of those key points that we share with the students and saying, okay, this is where we are. Where do you think we can get to? And so it's really showing them the goal setting process and having them become active participants in measuring the impact of what they're going to be doing in the school. We are using human-centered design. So in our first meeting, we talked a little bit about what does human-centered design mean? It means that we base it on what our students are saying and what the experiences of our students are. And so you heard one of the girls mention that one of their first tasks after we created a purpose statement was to pick 2 other students around the school, preferably outside of 5th grade, that they were to interview, and we had a set of interview questions to gain some empathy about what our students' experiences within school. And so things like what was a happy experience, the happiest experience you can think of in school? Was there a time when you felt that you were sad at school? What was that like and why? And so we gathered some empathy, and the students then wrote needs statements and submitted them to me this last week. So some people said of so-and-so student needs a playground where everybody has somebody to play with. That was one of the needs statements. And so they were really great needs statements. So our next step, you can see, is the ideating. So we have a meeting next week, and that's the next step that we will do is we'll take those needs statements, and we're going to take some small groups, and we're going to start brainstorming and defining what actions and what projects can we do that can lead to fulfilling those needs that we gathered. Some of the things that some of our student leaders already came up with was we talked about things on the bus of how can we create a peaceful bus situation, an environment. Another one, some students presented of like Friendship Fridays at lunch. Right now they have their own tables that they sit with just with their class, and they said, well, can we have a time when we get to choose of where we want to sit and how that might look? So another one was recess rounds. Can we go? They wanted to talk about mentoring maybe some of the younger grades of how to collaboratively play different playground games out at recess. And so lots of different opportunities that they have been talking about. So it's really exciting of seeing where this will go. One of the first things that we've already implemented with some of our student leaders, and Andrew mentioned this a little bit, was in October, we focused with our Unity Day, in partnership with our Unity Day, on bully prevention. And so a group of our 5th grade student leadership team, in partnership with our school counselor, Christine Edlifson, and also our school social worker, Donna Dahl, they took a group of our student leaders and created some lessons that they went to every single classroom and delivered on bully prevention. So you can see our bully prevention poster up there that every classroom got. And then they went through and did some role playing and scenarios within classrooms and presented scenarios to the students and had a Q&A session to really talk about and hear students' experiences, but also equipping our students with tools that they can use to assist with bully prevention. So that was our first project that our student leaders really led, and we're really excited to see where the next steps are as we continue to grow this program and see where it goes. So I'm going to pass it back over to Andrew to talk about also another goals that we have that relate to excellence in student learning and support.
Thanks, Sarah. That was great. So another board goal that we're really focusing on, of course, is excellence in student learning and support. We already have at Minnetonka the benefit of having fantastic staff, fantastic programming, and supportive parents. So there's a lot, of course, that is going on. I won't go through all the wonderful things that are happening in the classroom and in the school. I'll just kind of touch on some things that were newer this year or in the past couple of years. So one of the things is just our staff is a remarkable appetite for continuing to learn and grow and get better. And so there's a number of book studies that are happening. One of them is by our leadership group around PLCs. We really recognize that PLCs are the basis for our instruction and for strong instruction. So the PLCs, of course, is that those teams generally at a grade level or in a specialty area that really focus in on essential learnings and how can we strengthen our instruction to meet the needs of every single student. And then different grade levels or groups of teachers are saying, you know, in addition to that, I also want to emphasize an aspect of my classroom that I want to strengthen. So one example is a group of 2nd grade, and I think some 1st grade teachers are taking it up now. They just read a book over the summer around building community. So practical and really effective strategies for building class community. And I think especially as we get further away from COVID, hopefully permanently, we're just learning how to build that community again. So that's been really positive, both from the teacher and the student perspective. This is another thing we started last spring, and have continued this fall, and that is an intervention block. So the idea is that we work with the schedule, so big credit to Sarah and her team on this, create a specific block, 30 to 45 minutes of time, where we can, number one, concentrate our services for students, and then as we go throughout the year, add services in particular for literacy interventions and extensions. So right now we've got the intervention block in, we've concentrated those services, and for the rest of the year we're really looking forward to what are ways now we can meet the needs of the students, with the idea, a big idea of it being we want to make sure all students have access to that core instruction. So this is outside of that. Everybody gets the core instruction. This is, sometimes it's called win time, what I need, but they get an opportunity to really hit the areas that they either need extension in or they need some remediation, some support in. And then just continuing to engage parents. We've got a very supportive community of parents. And so Erin Kopishke and Bernadette Walker put together a parent literacy presentation that was a great way to encourage parents, in particular at the younger grades, who are, some of them are brand new to education. They have their first kindergartner in. So how can you support literacy at home? And so they're eager to take that advice, and we expect that that'll be something that we'll continue to do in the years to come. That's it for us. We are really excited about a great year. Every year seems to get better and better at Groveland. I'm really grateful to be with such a fantastic staff, such an amazing group of parents. In my 6th year now, it seems every year gets more and more fun. We've certainly had our challenges, but this year seems to be set up to be the best year yet, and we're really looking forward to the next part of the year. Sarah and I would be open to taking any questions that you have at this time.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Groveland team. It's great to hear how fabulously engaged the students and the staff are in these board goals and all these activities. Questions from the board or comments? No? Okay. Well, thank you very much, and thank all of your students for their work on the video and their leadership.
We will.
Okay, we are now at the time for community comments, which is an opportunity for the public to address the school board on an item included in our agenda. Do we have anybody here who wishes to address the board? No? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go ahead then and move on to the next item in our agenda, which is approval of inclement weather procedures. Superintendent Law.
Chair Wagner, members of the board, the state of Minnesota allows school districts to provide e-learning days due to inclement weather. This requires districts to adopt a locally developed plan, and a school district may have up to 5 weather-related e-learning days during a school year that can be counted as instructional days on the school calendar. This year, on July 18th, our Minnetonka Teachers Association leadership, who's in the room today, came to an agreement about our inclement weather procedures, and that's what I'll be presenting here tonight. It's a slight change from last year because we provide the additional days off with asynchronous learning this year for staff development, so we have shifted down. Good news, there will still be a traditional snow day the first time it snows, hopefully just once, but our shift from last year to this year is last year we had room for multiple snow days. This year, the goal is to provide students with instruction after a minimal number of school interruptions due to weather. So the first weather-related closure will be a traditional snow day with no instruction for all students. In the event that there's a second day following that first closure, elementary students would have a second snow day, and secondary students will have asynchronous instruction. Teachers will be asked, similar to years past, to post asynchronous lessons and materials by 9 o'clock on such a day, and we had a practice day for that on October 23rd. If there are additional inclement weather days beyond the first 2, starting with the 3rd day, teachers at all levels would be expected to provide instruction, either asynchronous or synchronous, depending on how close those days are together, where they land in either semester, and the timing of the days. And we would be working with the Teachers Association to determine what would be the appropriate format on those days. If e-learning days will be utilized, families will be notified at least 2 hours prior to the start of that day that students need to follow the e-learning plan. Information about e-learning will be communicated with staff, families, and students, likely on November 10th is our time frame for that. One of the questions that has come up frequently is, when we have students who receive services under special education, what is the plan for those students? So we've been overtly in communication with the Minnesota Department of Education, and our guidance is this. Asynchronous instruction can be considered both direct and indirect depending on how the staff choose to meet the students' needs based on their goals. The team will determine what this looks like based off the service minutes dictated by the student's plan. A child's access to a free appropriate public education should not be impacted by one asynchronous learning day, similar to when a child is absent or a teacher is absent or a child goes on a vacation missing school. Students can and do make progress given 1 or 2 days of asynchronous instruction. If there are students who are negatively impacted by asynchronous instruction, based on a data review, the team may provide resources. I share that just because we are in frequent communication to make sure that what we're doing is consistent with the expectations of both the IDEA law, the Department of Education, and how school districts around the state are handling that. So we want to make sure we communicate that ahead of time, that it is on a case-by-case basis, but we are definitely following the guidance from the Department of Education. So with that, our slight shift, yes, we'll still have snow days. Hopefully there won't be many disruptions at all. But in the event that there are, on the second day and beyond, we'd start providing instruction. So with that, the report is provided for board approval.
Great, thank you, Superintendent Lau. Could I have a motion to approve the inclement weather procedures as presented?
So moved.
Mark, is there a second?
Second.
Patrick? Discussion or questions from the board?
Just
Chris?
Thank you. Just a quick question. So the first day will be a traditional snow day. I know you said that. Would it have to be consecutive, or we get one per season? And then we will follow the procedure.
So likely, because we're so tight with our high school credits, a second day would have to be a synchronous day in order to not schedule or to reschedule days. And reschedule days are very unpopular for everyone, parents and staff and students. So we'll do everything we can to avoid that reschedule. And that's why 6/12, it would be asynchronous. It really, in that rare event that took us by surprise, and a second day is after the first one, and elementary students didn't have anything at home, that's why we might stay with that. Most high school students should be prepared for, or we could post something asynchronous to avoid having to reschedule. But we'd be in contact as we go through that too.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Megan?
Just another clarification. In the event of a 2-hour early release or late arrival, that would not impact this, correct? Because that would be considered a school day. Okay.
That's correct. Those don't change. If we have a late start because of a tough morning, that wouldn't trigger the next one to be an asynchronous day.
Any other questions from the board? No? Okay, seeing none, it's been moved and seconded to approve the inclement weather procedures as presented. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Superintendent Law, for that update. Our next agenda item is an update on our solar gardens. Superintendent Law.
Chair Wagner, members of the board, as you're aware, almost every month we get questions from our community about it, maybe installing solar on our roofs or working towards green energy. And one of the things that we take a lot of pride in is how we have been working towards energy efficiency and participating in solar gardens on a much more efficient method without having to put our roofs in jeopardy for integrity. So tonight, Mr. Bourgeois, Executive Director of Finance and Operations, is going to provide an update on how are we investing in solar gardens and how does our district benefit. Mr. Bourgeois.
Thank you, Superintendent Law, Madam Chair, members of the board. Yes, we are going to shine a little light on our solar garden activity. We've actually done a lot of energy efficiency things over the years. So it's not just a one-time thing for us. It's embedded in how we operate the district, how we do things. We have over 1.8 million square feet of a building space, and the newest original school building, until that thing next door opens up, was built in 1967, 56 years ago. So that was Scenic Heights. But we've done, over the years, as we've worked through long-term maintenance and upgraded things, we've done a lot of energy-saving items. We've replaced all of our rooftop units with new mechanical units that are much more energy efficient. We've switched our boilers to all natural gas off of fuel oil and boiler exhaust energy recovery units. We actually are capturing the heat going up the chimneys and recycling that and to create more energy in the building and to continue to heat the building so that we don't burn as much energy. We have, every time we replace windows, we've replaced them with energy efficient double pane, argon filled windows, 20% tint for thermal efficiency. So even in the summer when the sun is shining down, and we're actually repelling some of that heat at least. We always put additional roof insulation on. We're putting on new roofs. That reduces heating and cooling costs. And then we've done a bunch of swapping out of lights. In 2007, we were at 54 and 48 watt fluorescent tubes. We swapped them out for 32s and 25s. And then we did LEDs. We started out with parking lot lights and exterior building security lights. We were an early adopter of LED lights, and now basically we're 100% LED lights. There might be one or two here that we haven't caught yet, but basically we're effectively 100% all LED, including our ball fields. We have energy management controls in individual rooms, and we've actually have sensors in every room so that the lights turn off if people aren't in there for a number of minutes to save energy. We had buildings that became Energy Star awards in 2010. Actually, individual school building Energy Star awards in 2010. But then in 2013, we did more energy saving initiatives. We replaced boiler burners. We rebuilt them to something called direct fire, so that the heat of the flame was actually just going right to the water. I mentioned occupancy sensors, parking lot lights, and building lights, but that was our first LED conversion projects. But we got an Energy Star Leader Award in 2013 for the whole district, and that we were one at that time of only 270 that had been given across the country. We swapped out the 32 and the 25s I talked about before to 14, 12, and 10s, all providing the same or greater lumens. All LED lights for 10 years, including the Dome, Pagel Center, Einer Anderson, Veterans Field. We removed unneeded radiators due to the efficiency of aforementioned items, so saving energy there. And actually all of our schools have been built with 2 boilers. They pretty much run on 1 boiler unless it's super cold. And the high school actually has 3 boilers that were put in for the original 147,000 square feet. We actually heat it with 1 boiler for 583,000 square feet. There's actually one of those 3 boilers that only has 8,000 hours on it because we've been able to be energy efficient, actually my predecessors too, as best they could. So that thing only has 1 year of use on it, even though that building was built in 1952 and is 71 years old. This is just something that we're always battling too, because one of the things is, we try to run as efficient as we can, so we use as little of our dollars as we can in support operations. Basically, this was pulled off of U.S. Energy Information Administration. The price of natural gas has been going up. The last 2 years in particular, it had been actually relatively flat. So we're working to hold things down, because as that price goes up, we may actually be spending more dollars, but we're still trying to keep our usage low. We can't control the dollar amounts we're billed, but we can control how much we're billed. So our energy costs for natural gas have stayed relatively flat. We had the polar vortex year, and then the last couple of years, we've actually had longer heating seasons. This fiscal 23, we actually were still heating it on into May. And then, of course, the dollar amounts went up. So you can see that we're basically spending now on a steady basis almost double of the total spend. Now, over those years, though, we also added, in 2007, we were at 1.5 million square feet. Now we're at 1,833,000 square feet. So we basically added almost 330,000 square feet to the district. And that's not separated out in these numbers. That's all part of these numbers. Our electricity rates, all of us have seen that in our bills at home. But there's been a 17% increase since 2020. Again, this is U.S. Energy Information Administration for Minnesota commercial consumers. The results for energy costs for electricity, though, they've stayed relatively flat, even though we've been increasing square footage. Again, the LED light bulbs have done a big help to all that. We do get a calculation. We haven't gotten it yet for fiscal year 23, but we get a calculation every year from XIII about our avoided costs because of the various energy saving things we've done. In FY22, $396,000 in savings from solar rewards, which is actually our solar gardens, and then $152,000 from Renewable Connect, which several of our schools are on. So this is our annual kilowatt hour usage, and it actually, it was growing. It was growing steadily as we were adding things, but we basically have flattened out and dropped a little bit. Now we had COVID-19 in there, but we're actually still below. So, you know, as we switched away from two additional LEDs in particular, we were able to continue to drop that down. But so we're just trying to do what we can. We have zero emissions initiatives for electricity. We have a contract with XIII Energy for Renewable Connect, which is for wind and solar sources. That actually runs through 2026, so we actually have 3 more calendar years actually on this one. But we've already told them, it's like, okay, sign us up for the next one. We're ready to go. The facilities we have on that are the high school, the whole campus, community education building, the district service center here in the warehouse. So we're 100% sourced here from wind and solar. So then we get into our solar gardens. So these community solar gardens are typically, well, actually by the regulations from the Public Utility Commission, they're typically about 1 megawatt of output, and we are the anchor tenants in all of these. So we're taking the max that we can take. The anchor tenant can take 40%. So we have several in operation, and we have 2 building, and they're rolling them out. They have to wait until XIII Energy says, okay, turn them on. So we have 2 that are in process, but the other ones have been in process or have been in commercial operation for a number of years. We actually reduce with this particular one. Our first one was Nesfold 1. It's, if you're ever driving past the Watertown Town Hall in Carver County, we're right to the south of that, the Watertown Town Hall. Renewable energy credit actually gives us between 2.5 and 5 mils. That was one of the earliest ones we did, and this contract runs through 2028. It went into production in January 2018. Aaron Community Solar Garden is out near Green Isle in Sibley County, and we get 674,000 hours for Minnetonka Middle School West. There's an interesting little idiosyncrasy in that we can get solar energy from these gardens from our own county or counties immediately adjacent to the county the facility is in. So we have one facility in Carver County, which is West Middle School. And so Carver County borders on Sibley County, so we can go to Sibley County for this energy. There's a whole lot of solar gardens out in Sibley County, but we can't connect up to our other buildings. But we're doing what we can where we can. And there's enough in other counties for us to get around. We've got Mud Community Solar Garden. These are all with Nokomis Energy, by the way. Nokomis is named after Lake Nokomis, and all these community solar garden names are named after little lakes. So there's a mud lake somewhere. It's near Gaylord in Sibley County. There's 633,000 kilowatt hours for Middle School West. So that basically takes care of all of Middle School West needs. That got commercial operation in January 2020. Chubb Community Solar Garden in Northfield in Dakota County. Actually, you can see the ramparts of St. Olaf from the solar garden. 570,000 kilowatt hours for Groveland Elementary and 125 for Scenic Heights. 25-year contract through 2044. It was commercial operation actually in January 23. Lyman Community Solar Garden near Northfield. That actually is on the northeast side of Northfield. So if you were basically heading out of Northfield and trying to get over towards Cannon Falls, you'd pass it on the way out of town. 634,000 kilowatt hours for Excelsior Elementary School. I like this one because it's actually next to a bus company, so it's kind of double dipping when I go look at it. Commercial operation in January of 2021, and our tariff and credit is a net savings of 1 cent per kilowatt hour produced. Then we have Pickerel Community Solar Garden near Big Lake. This is actually just across the river from Monticello. It's in Sherburne County, and Sherburne County actually comes down. There's just a little tiny tip of it that touches Hennepin County. So we've got Minnewashi Elementary School served there, additional for Scenic Heights, 400,000 for Deep Haven, 25-year contract with Nokomis Energy, and goes through 2047. That one is actually, it was under construction in 23. It's supposed to go live in January of 24. And then Johnny Vale is actually right next to the Chubb Garden, so it's actually going to be built just south of it. Again, you're seeing, seeing the ramparts of St. Olaf down there in Dakota County. Dakota County, of course, is just across the river from Hennepin County, so they meet in the middle of the river. And we've got more for Groveland and more for Scenic Heights. And then, so this one, they keep pushing it back a little bit. It was supposed to be commercial operation in 2024. Now it's just going to be construction in 2024, so it might go commercial operation in 25 is the latest information I have. But we have the contract, we're locked in, it will be built, so we're still waiting on that one. Then for next door, we actually are looking at trying to get either as part of the former Ford project in St. Paul, they're upgrading a new dam, Highland Park Dam, that would be 10 megawatts of hydro. We asked to be part of that. We also told XIII Energy, any more of these that are Renewable Connect, we want to sign up for that and renew if we can. And then Nokomis, as they're working on developing, and they are developing new, we said we're still going to be in there for additional, because you can actually take more than you have. You can actually go all the way up to your peak load. So we can actually take more besides just 100% overall and get credits for that. So we'll try to do that as those gardens get developed. So we've done the deals with them. We have the drill down, and so we're going to keep looking for more opportunities. We converted our Shorewood building to LED in spring of 21, and we added that to the community solar garden contracts that are coming up. We did the stadium LED conversions for Einer and veterans. Vantage Momentum building, Highland Park, as I mentioned. So, or if a solar garden comes up first, we'll sign it up for that. So that's our activity, and we continue to look for energy efficiency, keep getting more efficient if we can, sign up for more renewable, and any opportunity we have, we'll take it. So questions?
Thank you very much, Mr. Bourgeois, and we really appreciate your innovative approach to this. It's, we all want to get as many dollars in the classroom as we can, so we really appreciate your work to keep these energy costs down. Questions or comments from the board? Chris?
Thank you, Paul. Just a quick question. So when we look at these contracts in 20, 25 years and locking in those savings and those rates, I mean, some of those are based on government funding and different things. Does that, if legislative changes, is it possible that there's legislative changes that would put us at risk for losing those credits over that time, or does the contract really lock us in with those partners and they have to figure out how to pay for it?
Utilities actually are governed by each individual state primarily. I mean, there's some federal regulation, but basically the Public Utility Commission in Minnesota sets how utilities for electricity and gas operate in the state. And so they put these contracts in place. And in the utility industry, I actually worked in the utility industry indirectly for 3 years and then directly for 4 years before I came here. And the thing is in every type of situation, they always, contracts are always honored to the end of the contract, because otherwise, if you didn't do that, there's a lot of upfront capital money that goes into these, and nobody would invest the capital money if contracts weren't good. And so if they actually put in changes, they always let existing contracts for whatever type of energy delivery you have run to the end, and then they switch over to the new type. So we're very safe, and I do know the sun's going to be shining in 25 years, so I think we're okay. So.
Other questions or comments from the board? No? All right, well, thank you again. We appreciate it. All right, our next agenda item is an update on our Vantage Momentum building and its construction. Superintendent Law.
Chair Wagner, members of the board, previous to my time, the board made the decision to stop leasing across the Highway 494 at Baker Road and build a permanent structure for our Vantage and Momentum programs. As you're aware, that building is just 100 yards south of us, or 150 yards south, the Vantage Momentum building. One of our board goals is to provide updates throughout the year on all of our facilities. Tonight, it's an update on the Vantage Momentum building and where we are for construction. Mr. Bourgeois.
Thank you, Superintendent Law, Madam Chair, members of the board. We're getting up to the point where we're finally getting to be able to move into something that actually, the kernels of it actually started back in 2018 when we thought about the possibility of acquiring the land at the time from Colstead's K9 Acres if it ever came up for sale, and then it did, and we purchased it. But we always knew we needed a replacement for the Vantage program as it was growing. We started out with the Vantage program itself in a small leased area in Excelsior. Then we moved to Edina Realty, and then we moved into the Baker Road site. And we've been there for coming up on 9 years, actually 10 years by the time our contract runs out in August of 2024. But we knew we needed to replace that, and so we're actually going to be taking the money we're spending, paying for the lease, and that'll pay for a big part of the bond payment on this particular building. Actually, it'll cover all the bond payment. But we are getting close. So there's pictures of the progress. Actually, took these over the weekend because I needed time to put this together. But every day it's getting a little closer. And we're starting to get into some of the finishes. So you know you're getting close with the finishes. And in building construction, when you start seeing the ceiling grid going in, then you know you're getting really close. Because they put that in last because so much of the construction stuff is actually up in the ceiling. They actually, you got plumbing, you got heating, you got cooling, you got controls. That's all up above the ceiling. And so they leave that open so everybody can work on it until it's done. And then the grid and the lights go in, one of the last things. Now, one thing is we have 1 month until our December 4th substantial completion date, which is contracted with Morcon Construction. But one of the things is that we're pushing them hard because there's no such thing as a soft opening in K-12 education. You got to hit the ground running. So the district, we need unimpeded access to get the building ready to accept students once the contractor are gone. There is lots of work that needs to be done in the 18 working days from December 5th through January 2nd. So we're ramping up for that. We have a plan. And it's not just to run around in circles and scream. We are going to get it done. District technology install is going to be critical for instruction. At the high school level, if we don't have technology, it's not too much can happen without our technology going. So Executive Director Dronen is going to be having the team ready to go to basically finish the installs on that and have it up and running. It's going to be a push. We have district's buildings and grounds staff ready to move new furniture from the Mound warehouse. We have a warehouse that we rent out in Mountain for about $25,000 a year for 7,000 square feet. It's a pretty good deal. But we've already reserved two 26-foot box trucks, and we've got all hands on deck. We got to move the furniture in. We've got to set up restrooms. We got to actually have our guys and gals learn how to run the boilers and some of the other equipment that's in the building that makes it habitable. We're going to have some contract furniture installed by Interior Minnetonka. They'll be coming in December 5th through the 20th. And then over winter break, the plan is, knock on wood, good weather, move Vantage Baker Road furniture and Vantage West furniture through December 20th through December 29th into the building and have it all in place. So when people come back, they can get there and see what's there, and the rooms will be ready to go. So we're actually going to be meeting next week with First Student just to finalize the shuttle bus schedule, because they're going to need a lot of shuttle buses. We only have 68 parking spots at that site and a handful here at the District Service Center. So we will have to use shuttle buses, but we'll be a lot like the Mayo Clinic. They pretty much have all their 20-some thousand employees park off site, and they take a shuttle bus in to work. So here's some of the pictures. First, I'll start with the Mound Warehouse. So there you can put your leather hat and your bullwhip and get in here and look for the Ark of the Covenant. It's way in the back. Primarily all these boxes are furniture for that building. It's amazing how much. So this warehouse actually goes back about 250 feet. It's about 60 feet wide and 250 feet long. So a lot of stuff back there. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to walk you through the rooms that I go, kind of the order that I go through every day as I walk, well, almost every day, as I walk through. So on the lower level, we have global business analytics, AP stats, were the things when we were planning the building that the Vantage people said, that's probably what's going to be in those areas. So there could be changes to this, but that's kind of what the overall design was based on. So that's our plan, and we're sticking to it. So this is our north entry. We'll actually have a nice sign on the top about halfway up. You might be able to see a little bump in the first, second, third panel up. That's where the sign is going to go. We wanted a larger one, but the city of Minnetonka has some pretty narrow restrictions. So, but we've got the biggest sign we could get. This is one classroom actually pointing two ways. This classroom is actually very close. You can see the ceiling grids in, and they actually they've got the ductwork connected and everything. What's on the floor is actually something called masonite. It's a really thin kind of soft plywood. They roll that over and tape it down because the finished floor is underneath that. So the floor has already been put down there. This is two classrooms. Actually back up. This is, in theory, we should be able to service as many as 80 students in this particular room. And these 2 classrooms are 40s, but even the small ones there are big. There's a lot of elbow room there, so although I know with the popularity of our programs that we'll pack them in, but we have the space for them. So again, 2 classrooms, they're really close. I went backwards, there we go. Okay, this is something called a storm shelter. It's required by building code. A couple years ago, after there was that tornado in Joplin, Missouri, that kind of ground really slow through the city and actually ground up their whole high school. The building code was increased in Minnesota for pretty much everything south of a line of Highway 94. And we're south of Highway 94, or I-94. So you have to put a storm shelter into any addition that is 50 occupancy or more, which this building is. And it has to be able to withstand a Fujita 5 tornado. Fujita is you hear F5, that's who F is, Fujita. He is the person who invented the scale. So this actually is a concrete shell inside the building. So it's it's kind of like those nested Cupid dolls from Russia or whatever. It's nested inside the building. And the idea behind this, it's got its own separate HVAC systems and everything all inside this shell, so that if there's a direct hit by an F5 and the whole thing comes down, everybody can be in here and they'll be safe until they're dug out, and they'll have air supply, and there's water, underground plumbing and stuff. So it's a tornado shelter. So it's going to look somewhat utilitarian, but we're dressing it up as much as we can. We got a few nice things we can do on the ceiling, and we can only have, it's a huge space because it can fit 600 people, but we can only have relatively small groups in here doing things because we're supposed to have it open for a tornado, even though it's not tornado season. I said, maybe during winter. Anyway, we'll see. But we're supposed to keep it mainly we just can't use 100% of it for classroom space. Up on the main level, we have, actually on the upper right in this picture is a kind of a pinkish area. That actually is they kind of call it the bullpen. It's actually the staff area, staff desks and area. There's going to be a small, there's copy area, there's going to be counter space, coffee, refrigerator, clothes hanger, all that stuff. And then offices for Director Andre and staff in that area. In the middle, there's a forum. It's actually larger than the high school forum. It'll seat 140, and it's actually more spacious. It won't have fixed chairs. It actually will have fixed desks, but the chairs will be separated like we have in here. So it's much easier to be able to roll through and get through it and navigate through that. But it's going to be a very good space if it's going to have a really highest end of the ability to basically broadcast a speech or present a speech, what have you. So it's the type of thing where if you've seen TED Talks, if Ted wants to talk, he can come here. We've got the business pod, global business analytics, and AP stats are up here also. That was the plan. So this business pod is a 60 is what it's called. And then we have the momentum pod, which is a future classroom lab storage area on the original plan, which is becoming momentum aviation. So we'll go through these rooms very quickly. This is actually the main staircase. So you come in the front door, and then it's very similar to the high school, where there you take a right and you can go up the staircase. And here you come in, you take a left, you'll be able to go up the staircase. Same type of security, same type of greeter at the front. Blue M in the floor. So that's actually getting close. That's all going to be terrazzo. This is actually the staff work area, kind of standing in the far northwest corner and looking. It's a little bit L-shaped or wide V-shaped open. In the doorway to the left in that picture, that's kind of like looking out down the hall. This is the forum. At this point in time, they had about 2/3 of the ceiling put in. It's a wood paneled ceiling, and there's going to be a enormous screen. It's it's about 16 feet wide by 12 feet tall. That will actually multiple screens that will work in tandem. Actually, not in some way a little bit similar to what we have in the scoreboard out at Einer Anderson, but it's multiple screens that can work individually or in tandem to make one big giant picture. So that's the forum. And actually out that window, that's, if you drive past on 101, you see kind of a big frame window. That's the window that you see from 101 with that big frame around it. And then this is the large classroom, the 60. It's actually in the distance, you can kind of see there's a beam there, a bulkhead, but it actually kind of wraps around the corner there. So it's actually even bigger than, objects in the mirror are bigger than they appear. This is the boiler room. So this is one we're pushing them hard because it's wintertime is coming and we got to get heat. So we actually have the first pipes attached to the boiler when I took this picture. But they're doing much better. They got a lot more pipe hung in there, and they got stringers for other things. And so they're getting close. And the main electrical room. So that's actually a really important room. Not glamorous, but got to have it. Upper level, we have what was called a science pod with global sustainability, human anatomy, physiology lab, health sciences. Commercial kitchen is what we're putting in there. They didn't need a commercial kitchen for those. They needed some kitchen things, but we were preparing for a potential future. If we're going to build it, I might as well make sure it can do more than just the minimum. And then the nursing beds for the health sciences, the nursing program that we have. And then the art pod, digital journalism, design and marketing, user experience, and design lab. So we'll walk through these and then take a tour around the outside. So this is the upper level large classroom. It's kind of like taking the other angle from the one that we looked at below. So it kind of gives you an idea of how big it is from the other side. So actually, I think this one actually looks bigger than the other one. A couple 40s here, 2 classrooms, very similar down below. Those windows look out over Highway 101. This is the room that has the nursing beds in it. So you can kind of see along the walls, there's a bunch of cutouts for electrical and data, but there's some other things that are coming through there, and they're spaced close together because the 8 beds that are over at the TSP building are going in here, so they'll have much more room and kind of a much more organized instructional area. And then this is the science lab, which is on the upper level on the north end. I'm standing in the northeast corner, taking a picture back out the door to the left that looks down the hall. And behind me is actually the windows, which probably has one of the best views, because it's on the 3rd floor looking out, one of the best views in the district. So we did say that, no, we can't move the superintendent's office in there. And then we have the upper level, the global sustainability kitchen. It's actually going to be outfitted with, if needed be, it could be a commercial instructional kitchen. So we may someday get our first Michelin star out of that room, who knows. And then outside, this is the south facade. So this is the service entry. Most people won't see this. There's a fence around this area. It's where we get deliveries and things like that. On the left-hand side in the windows, though, there's a window in a garage door. In that area, that's where we're actually going to be putting in the 2nd floor for the aviation program. And there will be, actually both levels are going to have garage doors to open up so that we can move things in and out if we need to move large items in and out. And they'll still be insulated and taken care of that way. This is what the front looks like. Similar but different to the high school. We used Casota stone. We wanted to do get a little like a collegiate kind of, maybe a little St. Thomas-y kind of look in terms of just putting some really high-end durable material on there. And that's what you'll see if you come up there and head in the front door. So the next steps, I have Roslyn Transferred Storage is ready to roll. That's a shout out to Tim Roslyn. And actually that little truck down there below is something that I bought from, no taxpayer money, I gave to him in thanks after COVID because we had to move 50,000 square feet of space out of furniture out of every building in the district in just like about 3 to 4 weeks to be able to get the 1 to 15 ready in COVID. And him and his crew moved that all over to Edina. And then after that year was done, they had to move it all back. And he did an excellent job. And I gave that to him. And I just said, hey, you got Roslyn Transfer and Storage. Thank you for doing what you did. And he'll be firing Roslyn Transfer and Storage up again. So it's just ready to roll, waiting for the building to be clear and turned over to us. Time will be tight. We have lots of work to do, but we have people lined up to do it. We need good weather because there's no soft openings in K-12 education. So that's where we're at. And like I said, we're like sprinters in the blocks. We're just waiting for the starter gun. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bourgeois, and thanks to Tim and the whole team. We know there's so many people behind all this work that we can't maybe think of at this moment, but please thank them all for us. Questions from the board about the status of the project? We've had lots of conversation. Patrick?
Just as you're mentioning that substantial completion date, any notices from the contractor side of any potential delays in meeting that date?
They're telling us they're going to get it done, so they might have a number of punch list items after. I mean, they'll have some, but they might. The biggest thing, but it won't stop us from being able to move in, is that putting terrazzo on the stairs is going to take probably a long time. Might bleed over December 4th by a few weeks, but we don't need that to be able to keep moving in.
We can move around it, in other words.
Correct, yes.
Thanks.
Other questions from the board about the project? No. All right, well, thank you again. It's very exciting. It'll be exciting to have the program in the district, so we're looking forward to that. All right, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Chris, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. We are now on to board reports. Does anyone have a board report for this evening? No? Okay, seeing none, superintendent's report. Superintendent Law.
First comment, it is the end of the fall athletic season, and our students are just having an amazing season. I had the chance to see our volleyball team surprise themselves, I think, and win the section championship last night. It was so fun to see those students and the coach, and they are going to be at the state tournament next week, but between cross-country state tournament this weekend and football on Friday night, the play opens up this weekend. I think cabaret is weekend coming. Just a lot of chances to see our kids outside of school as they're busy wrapping up the first quarter. So congratulations to all those fall coaches, student athletes. It's just been really fun to see the season progress. I think next Monday, I'm going to give a shout out to this team, Adapted Soccer, Monday and Tuesday. If they win Monday, they play later in the week. Good luck to those kids especially. The other thing, just a board update. Today, we had a lunch meeting with Senator Kelly Morrison, who was the author of the free breakfast and lunch, and it was with local support agencies, Tonka Cares, just community partnerships, and Senator Morrison was gathering feedback on implementation to take back, just to talk about how's it going here and what are the other needs. I was talking about our homelessness in our community, as well as mental health issues and brainstorming. And so I appreciate the fact when elected officials ask, how is this going and how can we do better with that? And I want to thank that group for coming to listen, as well as just listening to family, friends, and other agencies that are standing with our students in times of crisis. I appreciate all the people that work with our kids to make sure that they're getting the best they can out of our system. So just two brief updates.
Thank you. Any board members with announcements? No? Okay, I do have one. During election season, we get this question occasionally, and it has come up recently, so I wanted to address it at our meeting for the public. The Minnetonka Public School District and our school board, as a body of the whole, do not endorse or oppose any candidate for public office. We would never send a communication from the board or the district electronically or through the mail about who to vote for in an election. Additionally, when a candidate, campaign, member of the public, or organization misuses one of our district logos by including the logo on an election website, mailing sign, or other election-related communication, we do follow up as we are able and as is reasonable to curtail that behavior, as we want to ensure that it is clear that the district is not supporting or opposing any particular candidate. We do encourage all of the voters in our district to learn more about all of our school board candidates and about the ballot question regarding the renewal of the capital projects levy. And we encourage all eligible voters to vote on or before Election Day, which is next Tuesday, November 7th. Any other announcements? Last call. Mike?
Yeah, I have a quick one. I got sworn in 2 weeks ago and onto the special, the District 287 school board. And the announcement is that I actually, in the following week, went on a Get on the Bus tour of one of their facilities. Those tours are actually available to all the school board members, so I will let everyone know when those are coming up.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, they're great tours. I've gone on them in the past, so it's highly, highly valuable to do it. Anybody else? No? Okay, then could I have a motion to adjourn to closed session to discuss negotiations with the Minnesota Teachers Association as provided by Minnesota Statute 13D, Section 03? Patrick, is there a second?
Second.
Megan? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned to closed session.